gang. It's Heather for Liberty Librarian. How y'all doing? Oh man, it's been so long. I missed you guys. It's been kind of a weird year. This is the third anniversary of the Liberty Librarian starting, and I have not done this for so long that I'm trying to remember all the stuff. Liberty Librarian, you remember that? Yeah. And Thursdays, yay! Although it's 4 o'clock. Normally it would have been at 5 o'clock, but I'm doing a little early, right? So anyway, I am so excited to see you all, and I'm gonna switch it to the comments. There we go. It's been a little while, so it's kind of like riding a bike, right? You just pick it up again and you go with it. So what's going on, Heather, right? It's been a little while since I've seen you all. Last time I talked to you, we talked about I'm in a doctoral program, which is really cool. I still am. But then some big things happened not too long after the beginning of the year, and it made me have to take some time off. And I found out I have breast cancer. Yeah, rip that Band-Aid right off. Yeah, it sucks. So I have what's called a inductal carcinoma. I think there's a lot of other ways you could say it, but medically it's like in the duct of my breast. So it sucks. I've been working on trying to make it go away though. So that's why I've been taking time off. Also, it's kind of hard to want to do anything else but focus on working on saving my ass, right? So what's happening with that? So I'm doing chemotherapy. I do that every week, once a week, and I have I go in. My husband Andy takes the day off with me, and so he helps take care of me, and it's been kind of awesome having him with me. And we've been he's been my cheerleader and my defender, so it's been kind of a weird thing, It really, you always read all these things online about people who, when they find out they have cancer, their spouses run, and mine did not. And I'm very glad because he's been so helpful to me and really good. I'm doing this thing called cold capping. I know a few of you be like, "You still got hair, you liar! You don't have cancer." I'm like, I do have cancer, but I've been doing this cold capping thing, which is really a pain in the butt. You put this thing on your head that's freezing cold, and it plugs into a machine, and you sit there for half an hour before the chemo starts and an hour after the chemo ends. So it keeps the hair on your head. So, but I'm also I'm working on looking at every single angle. I think a few of you have had cancer, and those of you who have had someone in their family, I know it's one of those things where you just you will fight however you can, dirty, clean, whatever you need to do, you fight. So I've been fighting, and I have been doing complementary medicine, which means traditional medicine, which is like your chemo, your surgery, your radiation, and that I'm starting with chemo. So then I do surgery this summer, and then I do radiation. So hopefully they can get all that stuff out, and then I'll be done with it, and I won't ever have to think about it again. I know I'll think about it again. I know once you have this stuff in your life, it's really not an easy thing to let go of. But I've been going down rabbit holes of research, like how to make it so my chemo is more effective. I've been doing a lot of reading about things like turmeric and Chinese mushrooms and alternative therapies that work with it, and honestly, I hear a lot of stuff from people on on Facebook sending me things. Some of the stuff I'll consider. I always look at medical studies to see if it's a legit thing. If there are no medical studies on it, it's really, really hard to know if it's something that's going to be effective. And I'm not taking risks. I'm not taking those kind of risks. But I will say there are a lot of really interesting things going on right now in medicine I have what's called HER2 positive cancer. So what it is it's a little more aggressive. But the good thing, the good news, my friends, is that they have these drugs. It's targeted therapy drugs that work on the HER2 proteins that kind of make it grow so fast it gets out of control. But these drugs stop it from getting nutso. So I'm probably gonna be on those for the next year. But so I got a port put in, like touching the right side. Yep, that's it. Um, they had to have surgery, so they like make me a mod. I'm like one of those robot ladies now, and so they got a little pump thing that goes right in, so I don't have to get an IV every time, and that would have been a pain because I have tiny little veins. So I got that surgery done like sometime early March, I think, and right after it took a week or two to heal, and then we went to Florida for our vacation that we'd been planning, which is great, and I loved it. And then the week after, when we got back, I started chemo. So my chemo is kind of a little different. A lot of people have it in a chair, which I sat in it the very first day because they didn't know where to put me. And it's like a massage chair. So, I mean, honestly, if you're going to do chemo, you might as well get the awesome massage chair that's warm and vibrating the whole time. But I'm actually in a hospital bed when I do it because these cold capping machines, they like take up a lot of space. So they give you a little extra room, and it's heavy. It's got this big tube that goes on the back of your head and it pulls you back a little. So luckily, I mean, I pretty much, the minute they give me Benadryl during this, I always pass out. So I don't mind it. It's just really boring. A lot of people talk about, oh, I'm going to knit and I'm going to read all these books and I'm going to like write in a journal and dream. And I'm like, yeah, I pass the hell out. I always tell Andy, like, okay, once they give me the Benadryl, I'm like, you can take off, man, because I'm going to pass out. And so he goes and does some errands for a little bit and then comes back and then I wake up. So some days it's very short. It's like 3-4 hours, which is very short. I mean it, because I got cold capping. So it adds like that hour and like 2 hours to everything. So it doubles it. But on the days that it's really long with all my infusions, like my chemo, and then they have those 2 drugs because they do them all separate. Some days I've been there about 9 hours. The first day we went, it was there at like 7 a.m, and I didn't get out until 5. It was very exhausting. But I do not recommend cancer. Don't do it if you don't have to. I really don't think it's worth it. But you do meet a lot of really lovely, nice people. The nurses are amazing. And when I'm not pissed at my doctors, they're pretty amazing too. I question everything. I just do. I read all the time about everything in cancer. And they probably think I'm an idiot, but I actually look at medical resources because we have a nursing program and I can look at everything. So I just don't like to not know everything. It's the way I am, I want to know. And I think my friend Kara had always told me, like, you have to be your own best advocate when you are going through something like this. And, I mean, it doesn't have to be cancer. It can be whatever is important. It's a big medical thing. You have to stand up for yourself and ask a lot of questions, write everything down. Have somebody with you who can at least be another set of ears. So I'm like, did I hear that wrong? Did they just say this? And, they can ask questions too. Sometimes it's just good to have somebody who's not going through it the way you are. And that is very helpful. I am pretty clear-headed during all of it, but I do get mad, really, because I start thinking that they're trying to screw me over or something, like, why not do this test? Why not check? Why not see? So I am probably their worst nightmare. Probably not, because I'm not screaming at anyone. I'm very nice about it, but I always ask, like, how come we can't do this? Why is this test not that test? Why did we do it this way? why is it taking so long to get this scheduled when it seems to be pretty important? Ask questions. It's a good idea. And I'm very wary about easy fixes. Easy fixes sound so good right now, doesn't it? Like you just, I don't know, drink some olive oil from a certain country and then your body will just heal itself. Wouldn't that be magical and wonderful? I'd love that. But it doesn't always happen that way. And I've the dark thing in my head is always like when you see someone on YouTube saying, "This is the answer." I swear to God to you, I look up and see if they're still alive. And because that's the gruesome part of my brain is that, like, did it work? Did it really work? And if they're not around, then I'm like, it probably is not worth even looking at. I know, how dark, right? As you can see, my eyes are a little bit sunken. I put makeup on today, so I look a little bit better. But yeah, I'm got like a little bit of a skin rash thing going too. So yay, the beauty side of it. Oh my God, yay, Kevin! Hi. Oh, it's one of my favorite people from the Emerald Isles. It's so lovely to see you. I saw your pictures the other day. That was very nice to see. Oh man. So yeah, that's what's going on with me. I have explored some more alternative medicine, as we shall say. Some of it I'm not really open to sharing a lot about, but I will say there are a few places that have protocols, and I've done some really interesting reading about the metabolic state of cancer, which I think would be an interesting show to cover sometime, but I want to do a lot more prep work. And it'd probably be better if I was a little bit further away from it, But I think it's very interesting that things like people are taking metformin, which is used a lot for diabetes, so that way your tumors eat sugar. And if they don't eat sugar, I think they eat like not just glucose, but glutamine, and then they kind of like suck everything out of your body, and they start getting like their own blood sources and everything. Hey, Kara, how you doing? Awesome, nice to see you. So I think it's very interesting to learn about how the body works, and to like kind of, I like to call it biohacking. So I am looking at supplements that biohack cancer. So I'm taking what's called berberine, which is almost exactly the same as metformin, which is a prescription drug for like diabetics. But this will help starve the tumors. And I always have taken turmeric, which like weirdly does the same thing. There are these metabolic processes. And, Jane McLeland, I think is how you say her last name. She's an English lady. She wrote a book on how to starve cancer. There are a lot of people who really believe like that you go like lower carbs, cut the sugar. And I've been cutting back on sugar. Try to like keep your body from having a lot of inflammation and that sort of thing. So doing that, trying to eat a little cleaner. I mean, I'm not perfect when you're tired and you don't have a lot of energy to make everything when you're going through cancer stuff. It's hard to be perfect. It's hard to be Martha Stewart, but it is a good idea. So I had a friend, Joe Steck, before I actually switched to working virtual during this, which thank goodness my employer is very kind. He stopped by before my last week there and dropped off a really great book about how food can heal you. And I really do believe there's a lot to that. Eating healthy will help. And oh, what is this? Purity? Okay, I will look into that. That sounds cool. I know somebody's telling me about, what is it, SCACT. I don't know if that's the same thing, but there are a lot of things. I do green tea now, and I think Kara, you got me into that too anyway, but I'm doing a lot of green tea. The EGG or ECG, and also I will say there is a little bit of chemo brain going on right now. The longer I do chemo, the more there are these little holes in words, like things that make no sense to not remember, like people I've known, words that like colander or something, it'd be nice to not forget everything, but that's how it goes. But so I'm working at that, and I'm trying to make sure that you're adding things like, I always was a big fan of mushrooms, especially after I had shingles back in the day. And shingles is super painful, and there's a lot of neuralgia. Oh, jasmine pearls. That sounds really good. It just sounds good. I gotta look at that. I just think like you need to find ways to have like no stress in your life too. I mean, I believe that I've had a lot of stress in the last few years, and I don't think a pandemic did me any favors on cutting back on my stress, but I think that stress does lead to a lot of these things like bad health, and it doesn't make it so you can heal faster, that's for sure. So I've been trying to do some meditation at night, and I do guided meditation on YouTube because I'm not smart enough to figure out how to do it on my own. So I just listen. Found like a like really cool like sleep hypnosis ones where they talk you through like how to visualize a cancer going on in your body and healing. And I honestly like fall asleep about 5-10 minutes into it, and so who knows if it's working, but it makes me sleep, so that's a good thing. And I found this really weird, it's like a healing frequency channel on YouTube, and I play it all the time. It sounds like wind chimes and campfires, and I just like it anyway. So it's like ding, 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 ding. And, they say it's this healing frequency. So I'm like, what can it hurt? Why not? I'm going to just play it and just see, who knows? Like, I have this dream. Oh, my cat just meowed at me. I have this dream, Rory, that like all of a sudden they're gonna like scan it, and they're gonna be like, "Did we make a mistake? There's nothing there. There's nothing. There's no cancer. There's nothing." That's what I want. That's what I really want. And so I'm doing everything I can. You want to come up, Rory? You guys haven't seen my cat forever, so come on. This is your chance. Show off. Okay, you guys haven't seen him for a while. This is Rory. Rory the cat, my boyfriend. There you go. Yeah. So he has been my coworker for this last couple months. I work at home now. So it's been really good. I get to spend a lot of time with my cats. They love it. They think it's the best thing ever. The pandemic was the best thing ever for them, and now this. So I don't really think they have any idea like what it means, but it's okay because I get lots of cuddles, and when I'm not feeling good, then I get cats to snuggle with, and that's okay. So, like things that I'm planning on, I'm still doing school, and that's taking a lot of time. I have like 2 classes a week, and at night class virtually. So I haven't had to do anything different, but it's still a lot of work, and I still have a lot of work that's coming. So I'm not giving up on my life. I'm not gonna do that. I have to keep living like this is just gonna go away, because I think it will. Because this is bullshit. Getting cancer is bullshit. You never think it's gonna be you. I always thought I was like some immortal, like walking the earth. Like I'm never gonna get sick. I mean, I hardly ever did. I'd get a cold now and then, but nothing like this. But I've been doing a lot of soul searching, and I've decided I'm going to just keep doing awesome things all the time. I'm going to go on trips. Not right now, because I got like too much health issues, right? But I'm going to plan for things. I'm going to do stuff. I'm going to try to do stuff close to home this summer, just so I can like do things, because I'm going stir crazy. And it's lonely. It is lonely when you have like something so huge that just happens. I try I'm not crabby at people. When I go in for treatments, I've seen people just like lose it. And you always hear like these alarms at the hospital going off because somebody has some mental health thing where they have a breakdown. Not me. I'm like the kind of person who will make jokes with everyone and talk about what's new. Because seriously, I don't get to hardly see anybody during the week. And so it's boring. I'm going to talk to everyone who will talk to me. And I made a friend, an older lady that works as a volunteer there. She comes and sees me every time because I think she thinks I'm darling. That's so nice. She even gave me a card the other day. I'm like I don't think I'm the nicest person in the world. I think that I enjoy being around people, kind of. I like talking. And I think it's okay. I think it's okay. I meet a lot. I meet a lot of people at the hospital. It is like a very depressing place if you go to infusion center. Any of you have ever had cancer or been with someone who has had cancer and went to an infusion center, it is a grim place. And I think the people who work there are just like beautiful, sweet, like caring people. And they go through a lot. So I just try to be cheerful, like I don't have to really be like, oh, this is the best, but why not be nice, right? Oh, you're a darling. You're a darling, Alicia. So I just try to not, I don't know. The weird thing is because I have like a good attitude going into it, I've had so many people go, oh, I can tell you're going to get through it. And I'm like, and it's weird because when you hear it, you're like, yeah, I am. I'm going to get through this. And I do think it's sometimes about attitude and trying to like see the, like I can get through this. I see the steps. We do these steps and I'll get done with it. So I think if the steps get kind of moved around, then I get a little frustrated. And that's when I probably get all crabby. You see me on Facebook. I'm like, why don't I get what I want? Why? Blah. But most of it is because I have this like vision that, you know what, I'm going to see that it's awesome. And then like my cancer's going away. They can see the tumor shrinking and then they'll do the surgery and they'll go, wow, that went really great. You're done. That's all I want. I just want to be done with it already, because I think you can put up with anything if you know there's an amount of time that you're like, okay, at the end of this, then I'll be done with it. So I think that's how I get through a lot of things. It's how I got through grad school. It's how I get through doing a terrible diet. You just go, I can do this eventually. So I do that every week, and then Tuesdays and Tuesdays are usually fine. Like I do my chemo on Mondays usually. Tuesdays not so bad. Mondays some nights I don't get to sleep very well because the steroids sometimes keep me up and I'm like wired. But Wednesdays and Thursdays, like today, Wednesdays are usually my worst day. Like yesterday was the worst day, but today it's a little icky. But I have medicine. They give you medicine so you don't poop and you get, like, if you get nauseous, you take that and you're fine. It really isn't that exciting or fun. I do know, like, people have asked me about this and I have like not done anything with it yet, but I think it's very interesting to point out that now that I have cancer, the state of Minnesota has medical marijuana and I've done nothing to investigate it except I looked it up on the website. And I was like, oh, there's a place in Mankato that they actually have like all the medical marijuana stuff now. And I was like, I had no idea. And it's not far from my house. I'm like, what? So part of me was like, just to see what the hoops are like. I think you end up paying for a permit, which is like, for real, like when somebody has cancer, why do you have to pay for a permit so you can get medical marijuana so you don't feel barfy so you can eat? And part of it is like I'm not really having that much trouble with the food thing because of the steroids. I'm like keeping weight on. I actually feel puffier, but the pooping, that's one thing I worry about is like each week it gets worse and worse. It's cumulative, right? So I just think for like, it's interesting to see the journey people go through when you have like serious illness. How many roadblocks are put up for someone who is in pain? And I had never known like it was as bad as it is. But there are people who need morphine because they're in extreme pain, and people are going, well, there's the opioid crisis and we can't let drug addicts have them. I'm like bitches, having cancer or having some serious illness is not like making you a drug addict. It's making you in pain and you can't bear to be like standing. You can't bear to be anything. And I can't fathom that somebody would be that cruel if someone's in that much pain that they are like, oh, get an aspirin. You be okay. Like bullshit, you'll be okay. It makes you really see things differently. I think everyone, before they get super judgy, should go through extreme pain once and go, now, this is what that pain would be like with some pain meds. Would you prefer that? And they'd be like, give them to me. Yes. I'm not saying that if somebody gets addicted, that people get addicted to things. People get addicted to anything, really. But you need to have a smart way of backing people out of it instead of just saying no. Doctors need to be the ones who decide that, not just lawmakers. I think it should be between a doctor and a patient, because if it's not available, then people are going to turn to harder drugs that are a lot worse for you and a lot harder to get over. So I prefer if these are like medically sanctioned drugs for this. I mean, there's a time and place for everything, right? But I'm starting to see, going through this, that there's a lot of bullshit in this world, that when it comes to medicine, that until you go through it, you're gonna like see it the wrong way. You are. And I have, and I will say I was wrong. And the first taste I had of that was when I had shingles, because that neuropathy was just never ending pain. And thank God somebody told me about lion's mane and Chinese mushrooms, because I took those for I've been taking them for years now. But the last time I had shingles, I had to get acupuncture, and I took the Chinese mushrooms, and it finally went away. So I know that I've been icing my hands and feet every time I do chemo, so I don't get neuropathy. Neuropathy is nothing to laugh at. It's like needles and pins right away, and then it gets to the point where you just don't feel anything. And right now, my fingertips are tingles all day, and it feels weird. Makes my fingernails feel like there's something wrong with them, So hopefully, when I get done with chemo, that I keep taking the mushrooms and it goes back to normal. That's my hope. I'm doing all these things to mitigate damage in my body, to mitigate response. And you just keep doing it, right? You just hang in there. And I want to keep doing stuff. I want to have normal life things. And anyway, eyebrows are starting to fade away. I've been using this I had this gel stuff called Revitalash, and it's like I put on my eyelashes and my eyebrows. And it's kept everything kind of hanging on by a thread. But I tell you, I don't know how much longer I'm gonna have great eyebrows. So I put a little powder on it to make it a little darker looking. But they're getting spare. I know it's hard to see yourself being sick, and that's part of it. Is like, you do a show like this, you want to look your best. You want to be like, oh, hi, it's like the Liberty Librarian, and I'm going to tell you about all this great stuff and be glamorous and cool. And I don't feel cool at all lately. I just feel like I'm here. I'm doing the best I can. And I'm just so grateful that I have like a good support system, because I don't know how people do it on their own. There's a lot of people who are very, very private and they don't tell anyone. And it would be really hard. it'd be really hard to fake everything and get people frustrated with you because, you're not at your top game. And I'm not at my top game. This is like the worst I've ever been. And I am dog paddling my way down this river, and I'm gonna make it. I gotta. And I look around. Oh, glamorous and cool. I feel okay. And not totally uncool today. So that's good, right? We have a lot of fun. We have a lot of fun doing this show, and I missed it. Oh, keeping my head above water. I have to, like I'm not gonna let anything. I'm not gonna let anything else win. I'm too freaking stubborn. I can't lose. Can't. And it's just it's a weird feeling when you realize that, like, for a while I was really tired and foggy feeling, and I didn't know what it was. I thought I was just like overworked. And then I realized now that, like, that was my body's way of telling me something was wrong. I had cancer. I didn't know. I was so pissed when I went to my mammogram because, once again, like, dense breast tissue, they made me come in again. And, like, it's like, I don't need to come in. Just dense breast tissue, dudes. And then I came in and they're like, yeah, we're doing a biopsy. And I'm like, oh, this is real. And that sucked. Let me just say, getting a breast biopsy was not fun. They numb it, but like the whole time, like for you ladies, they do the boob smash machine that you stick your boob in, and it's a camera, and they put you at a weird angle. So for the biopsy, they stick this like knitting needle pin kind of thing. It's like got a hollow tube in it, and they numb it first into the area, and then they stick that in. And this is the most barfy I've ever felt. Like, I thought for a second there, I was like, the nurses were sweet. They're like holding a bag by me. I'm like, there's a good chance I'm gonna barf. And they got me a cold, wet towel and a fan, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna live. But I would say I've done that. I've done MRI. I've done chemo. I did a surgery, and I think the biopsy so far was the worst part. I mean, chemo sucks because it's just cumulatively sucking. But like, for like moments of intense suckage, yeah, biopsy was really not fun. And also, there's a part of you that gets paranoid because, like, it's a tumor, right? And my tumor is about like size of my thumbnail. It's a long, skinny one. So it's like that long, but it's like kind of narrow and follows along the duct. And like, you just imagine when they puncture it, it's like, is it going to shoot out cancer cells everywhere? Like, did I just screw this up by letting them do this to me? And all these things go through your head. They all go through your head. You think, did I mess this up just because I let them do that? And you're like, you have to know. And intense suckage, big time, Pat. It was intense suckage. And oh yeah, when I'm almost done with my cancer spiel, but I will say this whole year has been like some like weird intense suckage, and that kind of is my segue right there. But anyway, so you think about all these weird things, and then you realize, you know what, you can't control it. You can't make things happen. You can just do the best you can, and you just show up and be there for it. You can't be too scared to do anything. You can't be frozen, because it's like you have to decide, am I gonna give up? No, I'm gonna do everything. I'm gonna fight back, mofos. So I will keep you updated. That's my promise. I will let you guys know how it's going. I haven't been as eager to do a video journal. So this is really weird to talk about it, but it's good to talk about it. But I will say, the things that disappointed me almost as much as cancer this year, and I can say this because, there's a political side of this, is I'm a libertarian, right? And the Liberty Librarian, I talk about censorship and privacy issues a lot, and those are my passions. Um, but the thing that's bothered me is that I've been libertarian for years now, and I was a delegate at the state, not the, at, well, I was picked to be delegates at in past state elections for the Libertarians, and I'm on the judicial committee for the state of Minnesota. And I will say this is the most disappointing year for the Libertarian Party that I've ever been a part of. I almost feel like it's a whole different party. So I'm of the opinion that I sit back and watch, and hopefully that it fixes itself like a cancer. Maybe something will steer it the right way, like the body will correct it. Like your immune system comes and takes all the bad shit and lets it go away. I'm thinking that what's going on with myself is like the Libertarian Party, and yeah, it's big time. It disappointed me in such a way that I'm hurt by it, because I feel like there's an innocence and a maliciousness. Like an innocence would be if people thought they were honestly doing good, and that they're going to make change because they want to be activists. And I'm like, I get that. I understand that you want to make change. It's a young person's game to try to shake things up. However, when it's malicious, when you're trying to keep people from talking to each other, I know. Don't worry about that. I really wanted to be a delegate. I am an alternate, which means I probably won't get a chance, because the powers that be have decided that they are putting this caucus that shall not be named forward, sort of like Voldemort. I'll call them Voldemorts. The Voldemorts are the Death Eaters. That's great. They're like the Death Eaters, and but not cool. And they are trying to change the party to be in their own image, whatever the hell it is, because they don't let anybody in on their plan, and it's like a secret society, which I don't get at all. And I'm just going to say it because nobody hardly talks about it, and I'm going to talk about it. There are people that I know, like Kara and Pat, who've been working for the Libertarian Party for many years, doing such hard work and good work, and trying to get people elected, like getting signatures so we can have ballot access, things that actually matter. And it's like getting all thrown out the window because people are insensitive to, they think that, I liken it to like burning the bridge, like you have to burn the bridge to make change. And I got to tell you guys, that's not a good plan ever. You need to work with people. If you're in politics, I'm going to tell you how this works, kids. Like, you're going to have to work with people that you disagree with all the time, forever and ever. And this is just real life, right? You're going to have to get shit done with people that you might not like, but you still got to do it. So these children, I'm going to call them children because they're acting like they aren't getting their toys on the playground. So they're going to take all the toys and go to a different playground and burn down the other playground with the children on it. So that's how I felt about this year. And I'm very disappointed because I see a lot of people being hurt, and that caused me this weird amount of stress over like things that I can't control. And this is another one of those things I can't control this year, and it makes me angry. But the silver lining is that a lot of these personalities don't want to do any work. They're not going to. They're not going to try. They're going to just do enough work because they have one objective. Their one objective is to basically dismantle the Libertarian Party from the inside at the national convention, which we'll see what happens or not. If enough people show up that are against that, maybe they won't. I don't know, because I'm not invited really like that way. I'm an outsider now, which is super weird. In the last two national, it's like every other year, right? I was a delegate. I didn't even have to fight to be a delegate. And this is the first time that they have all these outsider people we've never seen in the party, are delegates. When I was 16, and I think was that person a delegate or were they at large? I don't know. But there was like people I've never even met before got elected. And it's because they all got together and decided these are the people that are going to be elected, which good on them for being super organized. But my challenge to them is this now. You get this power. What are you going to do with it? Are you going to do any good with it? Can you maintain it? Because in the past, personalities like this, the minute they had to do hard work and it's not fun anymore, they're gone. So you drove away all the hard workers, your worker bees, your people who love the party so much they'll do anything, the people who will give money, the people who will do anything to make this vision of a good new world, with libertarian ideals. Like, we want that. We want that to be a thing. And like, if you're not going to do that, then why did you start it? Like, do you even like have a vision? and I've seen a lot of different leaders come and go, and I know that we all have like a shelf life on vision and your tap of energy, where it all comes from. And it's okay that if you like forever, you're not like, I'm going to be at the forefront doing everything every day. There are people who do that. Let them do it. I don't know if it's a new thing, because I feel like I'm seeing this in my education program too, is that activism is like the word, it's a keyword everywhere. Everyone wants to be an activist, but you also have to be a leader. And if you're going to be working your way up to this part where you feel like we can make great change, you sometimes have to be the one that does hard work. And there's nothing more satisfying than going, okay, this is the vision, this is what we want, and this is how we all work together to make that happen. You got to be a really smart person, and you got to be someone who cares, and you got to be there. And a lot of people don't realize that some of these people in the LP that are getting driven away, they gave tens of thousands of dollars of their own money, their own time, and like, you're driving them away. Don't do that. Like, you're missing out. Like, work together at the very least. You know what? You don't have to see eye to eye, but at least don't be like you're in some sort of weird cult that's like, we're not talking to anybody. We're just gonna sit in the swamp and not talk to anyone and burn all the bridges. And you're like, no one wants to be a part of that. Like, you think like all the cool kids are there for a while, but then you're like, they're not doing anything. Are we just going to sit and smoke behind the building for, a year? You're like, do something with that power. So at the very least, please, if you take over and you screw everyone out of this, at least do something with it. Show us it was worth it. Because if in 2 years, when I look back on this, I want to be like, was it worth it? And I'll be like, well, maybe I was wrong. Look at all the good they did. I'm not getting these vibes at all. Not getting it. So that was one of the big things that really disappointed me in this past year. And I thought it was going to be the pandemic and not getting to go anywhere and wear masks, because that's what we all talked about for so long. And out of everything this year, cancer, number one. Yeah, it's hard to top that. But number two is the big changes in the Libertarian Party from the like from a group from the outside that for the longest time I wouldn't have even suspected that this was like the intent. And like, really, it almost seems like they want us to be like Republican light, and that's not for me either. That's just not the way I see myself going. But anyway, so that's my rant. So I'm not going to talk about that anymore, because, that sucks anyway. But what's next? So I want to keep doing Liberty Librarian. I'm not sure I can keep doing this every week. Oh, look, it's Eric. Hi, Eric. Eric's one of the ones that talked me into doing the show again because he watched my show. Yes. Members only. So you had to show they can actually do the work by collecting signatures. If they can't do that, they should let those who can do the leading. The voting, a straight group ticket, regardless of qualifications, doesn't mesh well with core principles. Yeah, I agree. You're absolutely right. I just don't think we should have caucuses. It's me. I think you can have interest groups. Sure. Like I like focusing on issues, and I love that because I get excited about it. And like it's in the library world, I am part of intellectual freedom committee, and I get excited about stopping censorship and making sure people have the right to free speech, and I love that stuff. I just do. And but we don't, in the library world, we don't like break off into groups and we don't talk to each other, like have a turf war with the catalogers. We haven't done that. And I don't think it'll ever happen. Caucuses are poison. I agree. We don't have library caucuses where the librarians, like, we're a gang. We have little knives and like, are you a cataloger? No, I'm a reference librarian. And no, we're not fighting that way. It just seems like these kind of divisions. It's like it seemed like junior high, right? Junior high, where you'd have like, we don't talk to you. You're not in our clique. I hate that. I hate that. I was friends with everybody. I'm a big nerd, and I love talking to people about all sorts of stuff. I had friends in high school who were gearheads because I loved looking at their cool cars, and we talk about basically like, I think it's a little bit subversive. It was kind of fun. But like I had some friends that were jocks, mostly because like they were just really nice people, and we all just had appreciation. I had lots of music and art friends because I love music and art. And, I just think that if you limit like who you can talk to in any organization, you're missing out on a lot of balance. And sometimes the best ideas I've ever gotten, and I say this in a library sense, I had a coworker who was like very like smart, super organized cataloger person. And I think she's just brilliant. But sometimes she sees things so totally different than I do. And I would go, hey, this is the idea I have. Because I walk into a room and it's like magic flowers. I'm like, let's do this. Wouldn't that be great? And then she'd go, have you thought about this? And I'm like, oh, I didn't think about that. And like, we did this once and this worked really good. Oh, sometimes people who have experiences in things that you're interested in may bring a different perspective that you may not always agree with, but they may also save you from screwing up big time because you made a bad choice. And the best thing you can do is to like surround yourself with lots of smart people who do not say the exact same thing that you do all the time. And that is how you become a better person. So I can't believe that this year has happened. I feel like it's a nightmare. Like, please don't break the Libertarian Party. I loved it. It was so cool. And I get these Facebook memories, and like the very first years that I ever went to the Libertarian Party, I was like an independent, right? And my friend Kara was running the hospitality suite, and she needed me to help her do that. And I loved it. I got to talk to so many people, and I went in with an open mind. I'm like, oh, meet some cool people. Let's see what it's like. And it changed my life. And I think that you can bring lots of people into the party if you go with open arms, not a closed door. It's not like you don't have to prove yourself like, oh, are you a real libertarian? that no one will ever win that one. But I think we can all do better, and I hope it gets better because I met some of the best people I've ever known through LPMN and getting to go to national. So I really hope that I'm not saying I'm not going, but I'm also not saying I am going because if I could like swing the $1,000 on tickets, I definitely would think about it more. If the prices came down, I might just jump on it at the last minute, but I might have to camp on somebody's couch. But I'm also not sure I want the heartbreak of going there and then finding out I'm not a delegate anyway. I just kind of wish I would know if people aren't going. You know, this is the train of thought I'm having is like, boy, I could show up and I could disrupt. That would be cool. And then also I'm like, I could show up and have my heart broken because I'm not going to get in and I'm not a cool kid anymore. Yeah. But we'll see. You know what? I have faith that sometimes you just let things play out and you watch and it like the people who were behind it fade away and then it comes back to the people who are passionate, who love the cause, who want to work hard. So I feel like it's like a pendulum. We'll go one way and then we'll come back. So we'll just wait. We'll wait it out. That's my best plan. You think I'll get a spot if I came? I don't know. One thing I do know is like I don't know who I'd sit with in Minnesota. Like none of the people. So maybe Jim. I think Jim's going. I think that's about it. It's like there's only like one or two people that are delegates that I even really know anymore. But no pressure. I know. I tell you, it's going to be like it will I or won't I all the way to the end. And part of it also is like how do I feel? Are we all automatically alternates? We get delegates. I would love to be a delegate again. It was okay. I'll tell you, for people who've never been a delegate in a political party, it's exciting as hell. You make so many changes. You make such a huge difference. It's other level stuff, and I hope that the people who tried so hard to become delegates to go do go first of all and see how important it is, and also take it seriously and do a good job, because honestly you never have that kind of like major change power. It is crazy, and it is really fun and interesting too. Like you never really know what's going to happen at a LP convention until like you see somebody waving dildos, like different colored dildos, and saying dilly dilly dilatory. And I mean, you feel like it's this like kind of like a college campus where it's crazy energy, but also like we're doing political shit. This is awesome. And there's booze. So I'm hopeful. And also I'm hoping I'm feeling pretty good because this will be like almost the end of my chemo. And I'd like to, part of why I want to get like all these tests done is so I know, so I can schedule my surgery so I know what's going to happen. Because if they keep making me do chemo after that, I'll be like, I just want to have a plan in place so that way like I can feel like, you know what, things are moving forward. So I would love to see you, Michelle. You're the best. I would sit with both Kara and Michelle with all the love, and it would be great. Oh, yes. Love, love, love. I would love to. So anyway, that's what's going on. I know it's been a weird ride, and when I first started this show 3 years ago, I had no idea it would be going so long. I did it kind of for fun. I still do it for fun, and I plan on continue doing this for fun. And I'm hoping for the 4th year, all of this is passed. I'm healthy, clean bill of health, NED, no evidence of disease, and we will have a major party. I'm gonna keep trying to do it. I might not be as regular. This summer might be easier because there'll be less going on. I won't be working as regularly either. So I'm hopeful. So if you think that you want to keep seeing me, send me notes. Let me know what we want to see. I would love to get back to at least covering some of the intellectual freedom news a little bit, because there's a lot going on, and it's my dissertation topic, so I should be like covering it all the time because it keeps me up to date too. So I always had a lot of fun finding the best ones to share with you, because it was always fun and weird, like stuff that you wouldn't read in regular news anywhere. So I'm planning on keep doing it. I might be picking it up a little bit more after I only have a couple weeks of the semester left for work and school. So after that, I could be doing it all the time in the summer. I might tweak the days a little bit. We'll see about how I feel. Yay! We want more Liberty Librarian. Okay, so this is not the end. We will be doing more Liberty Librarian. We will have a lot of fun together, and I will do my best to keep bringing it, doing it, and we will have a lot more of this. And you can be on my journey with me. I felt like we needed to talk today, so I didn't bring anything else to it, but I'm so glad that you all joined me. It was lovely to see you all, and I hope that, like in the next couple weeks, we can do another. We'll do more. I'll start coming up with a plan. We'll see what we can do. I have a good feeling about it. So I love you guys very much. Please stay healthy. I know this is going to be like a broken record, but go and, like, if you've been skipping out on getting like your mammograms, your colonoscopies, all of that, just do it. Put your mind at ease. Catching it early is so much easier than waiting too late. Okay. So just take care of you, because I love you guys. You're the best people I know, and I don't want anything happening. So be healthy, be good. And I love you. And I will see you hopefully next week. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. I'm going to try. So see you later, and have a good rest of the week. Bye, guys.